The year is 172. The bubonic plague has infested all of Europe. With their rat-infested cities and their very high population density, it was the perfect condition for the disease to spread like wildfire. Plague doctors throughout Europe struggled to fight back the disease. And who is this here? A man in the UK, Britain if you will, seeking to move him and his family out of Europe and out of this deathly disease area zone. So the man hopped into a boat, just like that, and the boat sailed all the way down the English Channel sideways, and then all the way west in hopes to escape, leaving Europe and all of its issues behind. The boat has been sailing across the empty ocean for years. It is now year 1736. And what is this? To the west? Am I crazy, or is that America? The #1 country on the world. Wow! And then the boat went, what? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Crash landing. Oh no. It broke apart. The old people dead inside. We'll put down a skeleton. I guess a few because he also brought his family. Can I give skeletons bubonic plague? Oh, frick, I can't. And then they gave the bubonic plague to this guy. There. As they washed ashore and fought them. So then they killed the old travelers from Europe. And there you have it. You could see the slightly purple tile. The bubonic plague has entered the United States, which is on the brink of a civil war, because that's more dramatic and fun to watch. The state of Carolina, in this timeline that's a state, is the first to be infected with the disease. The plague, if you will. And if you guys remember anything about the 1700s and America, there was a pretty bloody civil war. At least I think that's when it was. It was either that or no, it was definitely the 1700s. I'm an American. I know history. Except this civil war in this timeline is even more bloody and gruesome, because every single state on their lonesome is gonna have to defend for themselves until one is united the entire country. It's either that or they all died of the plague. I don't know. One of my neighbors is friggin' revving his car. Bro, it's 30 degrees outside. There's like a high wind warning with a snowstorm. Let the war commence with the bubonic plague. Sorry to the East Coast. They're definitely going to get killed by the plague way faster than the West Coast. You know, it just so happens that Europe is to the east. Okay, so the entire United States is in chaos at the moment. Everything is imploding. States are being taken over. Carolina is actually being taken over by Virginia right now, which means all of Virginia is basically consumed by the plague. You can't see it, which is a dumb coincidence because Virginia is like pink purple. But when I zoom out, you'll actually see where the plague kind of is. We're going to slowly see it sprawl out and expand across the entire country, especially as the soldiers run around raiding new states. They're just spreading it. It's spreading a little bit into what was Tennessee, now owned by Missouri. I don't think I've ever seen Missouri do anything in one of these battle royals scenarios. Utah quickly took over Arizona. That's rough, dude. No, Idaho. Idaho gets bullied every video by Washington. Just go away. Just go away. Just let us live for a little while at least, dude. Come on. Wow, okay, things are imploding so fast. Maine has already taken over like 3 states. This is unheard of. Texas has taken over Oklahoma. Oh, okay, Montana just took over Wyoming and Idaho. Utah took over Nevada as well. Iowa took over, what, South Dakota? Michigan took over Wisconsin. Pennsylvania's dying. It's filled with the plague. Look at that. Yeah, you're all in here shaking. So anybody you see shaking means that they're dying of plague. Perfect. He should have stayed home. Virginia, they're filled with the plague, but they have 800 population, which is very impressive and powerful, especially for the East Coast here. Maine has 900. Oregon just stole Nevada away from Utah. Washington just took over California, and they're just gonna move their massive army back into Oregon. Take that. Bro, why does Oregon only have an army of 5 and 1? That's not gonna be enough, you fools. Kansas was taken over by Texas. They're just moving north. That'd be so funny if Texas just shot all the way up into Canada. Oh, look at the plague just spiking through Maine. Oh, that's intense as heck. I don't know how much the plague actually kills people. If we go to statistics on the world, total infected, we could actually see 1,058 people on the world are currently infected by the plague. Total deaths from the plague, 167 people have died from sickness. So right now it's spreading. It's only going to be exponential until people start dying off. If I get rid of this, you can see it much easier. So here's the plague spread so far. Oh, it's reaching straight into the heartland of the country. Now we're making it just to Texas right here. There's a few people with the plague. Yay. All the way down to Florida and all the way up to Maine. Oh, dude, it's spreading so fast at this point. It'll be at the West Coast before we know it. I'm sure Virginia's really going to start feeling it here, as most of their people have been dying now for quite a while. Okay, Washington is dominating on the West Coast right now. They need some plague up in their biz. Iowa has been kicked out of Iowa and is now in South Dakota. Nebraska's being taken over by, I think, Iowa, yeah. Arkansas being swarmed with the plague. Holy balls. It's just one big pile of plague. Louisiana was just taken over by Texas, which is slowly but surely getting more and more infected. You're all gonna die. Mississippi somehow avoiding the plague. It's definitely slipping in here on the Arkansas side, but Alabama, it's like a straight line. There's no plague crossing the border. How is that even possible? You guys are right next to each other. Just sneeze on him. Give the little kid a high five, right? Montana currently invading Washington. Maybe they're defending themselves from Washington. I don't know, but they both have massive armies. Oh wait, that's not their army. I thought this was their army. That's their farmers. Oh, Washington's just gonna roll in here then. Uh-oh. Okay, Montana might be screwed. Oregon is being conquered by Washington. New Mexico took over Colorado as the plague is right on their doorstep. Kind of seems to stick to the borders a little bit. Alabama lives on in Tennessee for some reason. Mississippi taking over old Alabama. Florida's struggling. Ohio lives on though. They basically breed the plague for fun. Ohio built different. All right, stats about the world. It's over doubled now, the total populace infected. And deaths by plague have like what? Quadrupled, quintupled? 1,439 people has lost their life to the plague. Virginia has only gone down in population, but they are still at war with everybody around them, so I don't know how that's affecting them. If we look at the plague, it has definitely spread quite a bit. If anything, it has slowed down going westward and just kind of absorbed the south. North Dakota for now is safe, and Minnesota is somehow skirting by. Here we go, Montana getting its first bits of the plague. New Mexico has a few different outbreaks going on. Utah's fighting it back against Washington. Good, somebody has to. Yeah, take that, Washington. That's what you get. So what does that mean then? Utah and Washington are the last two states to not have the plague inside. Oh, that's not true. Minnesota and North Dakota are vibing, bro. Minding their own business up here as the plague easily goes across the border into Montana. Yeah, look at that, dude. These states over here, they are losing population. If any fight is going on right now, it's between 1 or 2 soldiers because they're all dying. The plague is overwhelming the states. Dude, Virginia just lost so much population. Oh, it's because Alabama took a state. I was like, no way the plague just killed them all. Oh, Minnesota was just taken out by North Dakota, which is now being flooded by the plague. Utah's completely filled with the plague, and Washington is finally getting its bit of it. Well, not even Washington yet. It's literally just Idaho, dang it. So as the West Coast gets engulfed by the plague, we can look over here on the East Coast that's been struggling with it now for many, many years. You're gonna grow up to be an adult like 10 with no health at all. With the plague finally reaching the West Coast, look at the statistics. It has doubled once again with 4,343 people currently infected. So what, a third of the population of the world are infected? One of every 3 people, dude. Deaths by plague has now claimed 5,000 lives. Love to see it. Hopefully it claims more. Oh, Utah is still expanding. They've claimed Wyoming. And then Montana is now separated. Oh, that looks even worse. My day is ruined now. Mississippi has claimed Louisiana. I don't know how long that's been like that. Texas taking over Nebraska, which means all they have to do is take out the Dakotas, then they're bordering Canada. That'd be really funny. From north to south, manifest destiny. Every Texan's dream. Mississippi taking out Arkansas. I don't think I've ever seen Mississippi survive past the first 5 minutes in any of these videos. With the massive population density, Washington's about to get hit really hard with the plague. Where the East Coast especially has been hit by it, so their population is much more immune as well as just less crammed together. Imagine dying to the plague. I can't believe it, dude. Mississippi and Alabama are doing so well for themselves right now. I've never seen either of them do very well. Mississippi always gets killed by any of their neighbors, really. And then Florida usually kills Alabama, but they managed to escape to Tennessee. Washington has dropped in population drastically. It's lost about 400 people to the plague, I bet. Virginia actually gaining territory, but still lowering in population. Is anybody in here immune? The total people infected has gone down, but so has the world population. I can't believe that there's still this many people that's not infected. That doesn't even make sense to me. Deaths by plague, 14,000. Holy balls, dude. I think the plague fluctuates. As the population goes up, it spreads to more people, kills more people, bringing the population down. People have a chance to regrow, and then the cycle continues. Utah is slowly becoming the new power of the West. If they could just smash Washington out of there, then all they have to do is focus on the East, connecting Mexico all the way up to Canada. And please somebody kill one of the Montanas so then we don't have them separated because border gore. There we go, the first immune trait, at least that I found. So after, I believe, parents growing up as children who have the plague, they have like a small chance to birth out a child with the immune trait. And if that man has a child, then that child will have the immune trait, slowly beating the plague. The world population is still dropped and it has not gone up. It's only going down, bringing the deaths by plague total to 21,000. It's going up so fast, but the infected amount continues to drop along with the world population. So it's slow, but it's deadly.
2 hours later.
Years have passed at this point, and people seem to be growing an immunity to it. You can see how the plague has lost a huge grip on the world. It's only really prominent in certain states, like Utah, Tennessee, Michigan, and Maine. Some of the states don't even have the plague anymore. The world population has continued to drop. Same with the infected level. The plague now claiming 38,000 lives. It's just running out of people to kill. More and more people are getting the immune trait. Maybe they'll survive it. Meanwhile, the world's imploding, with Maine taking over all of the East Coast and Michigan. A bunch plunging straight through the middle of the continent, with Texas uniting more of the states around it, which means Mississippi and Alabama have both collapsed at this point. Same with Missouri. No, dude. Washington has beat back Utah now more times than I can count. They've gone back and forth. There goes Michigan, dude. Taken out by Maine. It's always taken out by Maine, dude. I hate Maine up here. Their geographical advantage is so unfair, dude. That with Florida and Washington as well. The plague has now brought the world population down below 9,000, killing a total of 44,000 people. It just keeps going up. Honestly, dude, Utah probably should just let Washington win. Because if one of these two don't settle their arguments in anytime soon, Maine might win. And by might, I mean Maine's gonna win, guys. It's gonna happen. Yeah. You can see their population struggling though with plague. Anytime it drops, they're like, pump out more babies, please. Pump them out, people. Pump them out. Most of this military over here, they all have the immune trait. That's definitely a huge advantage. Yeah, most people in the world now are gaining the immune trait, except for this poor guy. So the world population's actually bumping back up, with the infected not going back up with it. If anything, it's still dropping. Whoa! Deaths by plague now reaching 50,000. Oh no, the collapse of Montana as Washington sends in a huge army, dude. There it goes. And Utah's over here fighting for its life, dude, as Washington takes over its capital. Meanwhile, down in Texas having a lightning storm. And Florida's fighting back. Oh man! No, Florida! No, it's gone. So looking at the scoreboard, it goes Maine, Washington, Texas, North Dakota, Utah, and then poor little Missouri down here. It's a fitting name, right? Missouri, you know, kind of sounds the same. They're in Missouri because they're small and gonna die. In fact, Maine is sending over a huge army right now to go conquer them. Oh, fantastic. Washington's sending over their huge army to conquer Utah. Oh, snap, Texas out to steal Utah from Washington. Look at that, they're fighting off their army. Well, they took it. Texas, what a wild card. Imagine fighting another country for 100 years. And then right before you're about to kill them, another country comes in and just whoops you. That's funny stuff, especially because I hold grudges and I don't like Washington. There goes North Dakota. Oh man, which means we're down to our top three just like that. Washington, Texas, and Maine. And Texas is being eaten alive, as well as struck by a meteor. Oh my glove. And looking at the world statistics, the world population has kind of stayed the same. If anything, the infected has kind of caught up a little bit. It's just not as much of a problem anymore as it used to be. Most people in the United States, I feel like, now have the immunity, which is why they're able to sustain such big numbers, especially in their military. Most of them have the immune trait, which set the wars back in action. And just like that, Texas is being invaded and divided. Washington has now realized their mistake as they're losing land to Maine. Goodbye, Texas. Oh, no way, dude! Washington just killed Texas. Maine did all the work. That's the ultimate revenge. After how Texas took their Utah. That's funny, dude. And just to make things worse for Washington, a meteor just struck right in the middle of them. Washington is only a thin strip on the west coast, on fire and in panic. It's not going very well for him. And there we go, Washington dying in old Oregon territory. Maine has taken them over. Easy peasy lemon schmeezy for Maine. They seem to always win. As Florida gets hit by a meteor, that's a great place to end the video. World population has boomed back up to 11,000, with the infected level staying down because of all their new immunity. In total, deaths by plague was 68,000. Think about it. Over 50% of the deaths of this world were due to the plague. That sucks, dude. I'm glad I didn't live during the bubonic plague. Sucks to suck, I guess. Just be born in a better time, losers.